Salve. In this video, we're going to learn about third declension nouns. More specifically, we'll learn about third declension masculine and feminine nouns. Third declension also has neuter nouns, but we'll cover those in a later video. First, let's review declensions that we've already seen before. First declension, which is overwhelmingly feminine, contains words such as puella, which means girl. The genitive singular of this is puellae. Those endings tell us that we're dealing with something that's first declension. The nominative always ends with an A, and the genitive always ends with an AE. Second declension has masculine and neuter nouns, but for now we'll just worry about the masculine ones. We get words such as campus, campi, and ager, agri, both of which mean field. The nominative singular will end with a US or an ER, and the genitive singular will always end with an I. Now let's get into third declension. The nominative singular form is a variable form. There's no set ending. There's also no difference between masculine and feminine for this declension, so for the most part you can't tell whether a word is masculine or feminine just by looking at it. Okay, so I said that there's no set ending here, but that doesn't mean that it can be absolutely anything. There are about 10 common endings that you'll see here, and you'll start to notice the patterns. The genitive singular always ends with is. So we might see the word mater, matris, which means mother. ER is a common ending for third declension. We'll see the same ending on frater, fratris, which means brother. Sometimes we'll see an OR ending, like on soror, sororis, which means sister, or arbor, arboris, which means tree. Some end with the letter X, such as nox, noctis, which means night. We get the word nocturnal from that. There's also senex, senis, which means old man. We get the word senile from that. Some end with an O, like oratio, orationis, which means speech, or caro carnis, meaning meat or flesh. We get the word carnivore from that. Some end with the letter L, like sol, solis, which means sun. We get the word solar from that. Also there's consul, consulis, which was the term for the political position, which we still call consul to this day. Some third declension words will end with an OS, like kustos, custodes, which means guardian, or nepos, nepotis, which means grandson. Some will end with is, like hostis, which means enemy, and the genitive is identical to the nominative. They're both hostis. We get the word hostile from this. We also have ignis, which means fire. Ignition comes from this word. Some of these will end with an es, like eques, equitis, meaning knight or cavalryman, or eides, eidis, which means temple or shrine. Some words end with as, like libertas, libertatis, meaning freedom, or cupiditas, cupiditatis, which means desire. And some of these end with just an s, like urbs, urbis, which means city, or pars, partis, which means part. Those are the most common patterns that you'll see. Okay, now let's see all of the endings. We already know that the nominative singular is a variable and that the genitive singular ends with is. Moving on from there, we have I, em, and e for the singular forms. In the plural, we have es, um, ibus, es, and ibus. All right, let's add those endings to an actual word. We'll start with pater, meaning father. The genitive singular is patris. So with previous declensions, I said that the best method was to drop the ending from the genitive singular and then use that stem to add the new endings. We'll do the same thing again here. So the stem is patr, and we add the endings to that. So we get patri, patrem, patre, patres, patrum, patribus, patres, and patribus. Now another noun. We'll use rex, which means king. The genitive singular is regis. We get regal from this word. So we use the genitive to form the others, and we get regi, regem, rege, reges, regum, regibus, reges, and regibus. And one more example. Miles, militis, which means soldier. We get the word military or militia from this. We'll drop the ending from the genitive, add the new ending, and get militi, militem, milite, milites, militum, militibus, milites, and militibus. Okay, now we're going to revisit an old topic, which is noun and adjective agreement. We've already learned that in Latin, adjectives will agree with nouns in 3 ways, and those 3 are case, number, and gender. So, if we have the noun femina, meaning woman, and we want to add the adjective for good, we'll get femina bona. Both of these words are nominative, singular, and feminine. If we switch from femina to vir, which means man, we need to change the adjective from bona to bonus, because it's describing a masculine noun. So both words here are nominative, singular, masculine. Now let's use the noun nauta, which means sailor. Hopefully you'll recall that this is a first declension masculine noun. Since it's masculine, we'll need to add the adjective bonus. Both words are nominative, singular, and masculine. So this pairing indicates something important, which is that the words need to agree in case, number, and gender, but that doesn't mean that they'll be the same declension, and it doesn't mean that they'll have the same ending. Now let's switch the noun to soror, which means sister. This is a third declension noun, but we can have an adjective from a different declension describing it. If we want to say good sister, it would be soror bona. Both words are nominative, singular, and feminine. It doesn't matter that the noun soror is third declension and bona is first declension. They still agree. So now let's switch the noun to rex, which means king. This is, of course, a masculine noun. So to say good king, we would say rex bonus. Both words are nominative, singular, and masculine. If we decline the noun and adjective together, we'll get this result. As you can see, rex is declined with third declension endings, whereas bonus has second declension endings. So you can see that they never have the same ending, but they are always in the same case, number, and gender, so they do agree. Alright, that's it for third declension masculine and feminine forms. Let me know if you have any questions. Wale.